AskRedd by JHFFMN21. Americans of Reddit, what is the worst big city in the USA and why? I live in such a nothing ass state. I know none of Arkansas cities will be in here because this state is so irrelevant. I've heard Northwest Arkansas is pretty nice and has awesome mountain bike trails. I'm in Memphis and have been wanting to take a trip up there. Bakersfield or Fresno, pretty sure the devil has part-time vacation homes in both of them. Fresno's an official motto being at least we're not Bakersfield. Bakersfield, California. Nothing but meth and strip malls. Some dude from Bakersfield, CA was just arrested for robbing my house. For reference, I'm in TN, so he has come a long way from home just to be a shithead. This checks out. I passed Camden NJ on our way to a concert and we stopped at a light and a cop drove up and literally told us just run the reds and go, do not stop, and as we turned you would just see groups of PPL on corners waiting for a stopped car. It was wild. Edit. I appreciate all the replies. The horror stories I'm sure are true. The struggle of the people in rough situations in these cities is a huge component also. My husband spent summers there as he has family in the area. He saw it in all its facets, including positive changes. My first experience, and only experience, was driving there to get to a concert with my friend 12 maybe 14 years ago, and it was unexpected even for the SNCC native. I live an hour from Philly and had to explain this to my wife several times about Camden. She didn't believe me until I ran a red there in front of a cop and nothing happened. She didn't understand then how dangerous Camden can be. Scrolled through and did not find my city. Win. Edit. For those that asked, it's Chicago. Hey, I never said it's the best, I just did not find it mentioned as the worst. Your city. Stockton, Fresno, Bakersfield. I've been to all of those. The only place the guy at the hotel desk told me lock your door when you get in and if anyone knocks after dark call 911 was in Lackaport. That town is a scary little meth hole. East St. Louis. Stopped once for gas. Didn't think I was going to make it back on 55. Was both prepared and a bit saddened to see East St. Louis at the top. It really is that bad and there's no debating it. I haven't been to every city in the US. But Baltimore could use a little cleaning up since we're on the subject. AWH. Basically one of the only things I know about Baltimore is that it's the home of Mr. Trash Wheel and family, the pride of the Baltimore Harbor, and I imagined it as a trash-free oasis protected by the Trash Wheel clan. Bummer, I need to get out more. I think every city has great parts. But in the worst parts of Baltimore is pretty out there. Honestly, I was coming in here ready to defend Baltimore. I'm in DC but spend a lot of time in Baltimore and love it for the most part. But I read a thread in our Baltimore a few hours ago about a guy talking about how he got mugged last night, and the top comment was a very casual, "Oh yeah, those guys shot me last week." So while much of Baltimore very working class charming, you've got a good point. The worst parts are pretty damn bad, haha. Just, be careful in West Baltimore, in particular. The rest isn't as bad as people make it out to be, haha. Springfield. Having a monorail would have made it better. Jackson, Mississippi. Very high murder rate, low education, failing infrastructure. Edit. Yes, I know Jackson isn't a very big city. It just sticks out as being in bad shape. Jackson was eye-opening for me. Where I'm from, being poor means you don't have a car or the latest phone and your apartment has roaches. In Jackson, if you're poor, you don't have shoes or running water. It's like a banana republic that can't grow bananas. I hesitate to answer this because the worst cities in America aren't big cities. It's medium and small sized cities that have been hit the hardest by economic changes. Places like Gary, in Pontiac, MI, Bridgeport, CT, and Lowell, MA. Industrial cities that lost all their jobs and experienced depopulation and rising crime. But I don't know, maybe Hartford. There's just nothing there. It's insurance companies and street gangs. That's it. Wow, didn't expect to see Lowell on here. I don't think it's one of the worst, even in mass. In my opinion, of the ones I've been to, Miami. Anywhere outside of the nightlife scene is absolutely dangerous. For example, Wynwood, the art district, is literally in the middle of one of the worst possible neighborhoods. You enter or exit Wynwood from the wrong direction. Don't stop and wait at red lights. Edit. I learned the area I'm referring to is called Overtown, just outside of Wynwood. Also, no, I'm not a tourist, I'm a local. I'm from Miramar, right next to Miami Gardens, and I go into Dade County from time to time. I can verify this comment. Edit. I recall running into a map of gangs in the southern half of Florida. I just found it again. Here's the link. https://www.reddit.com/r/map_UTM_florida_gang/map_UTM_UTM_source share. Miami. Hot year round. Traffic. Sex trafficking amongst other crime. Expensive. Hurricanes. Even residents complain. Smells. But Pitbull made it sound so great. I liked pretty much all of the big cities I've been to in the US. Live in Nick. Spent a few years in Chicago. Have visited LA, Boston, DC, Philly. Baltimore was kinda meh for me. Had some good food and went to a cool street fair, but I found the inner harbor kind of boring and the class divide was very palpable. Out of small cities, Binghamton, NY was just straight up depressing. It looked like a ghost town. Elizabeth, NJ was sort of rundown looking but seemed like it was in better shape than Binghamton. Binghamton. 10th rainiest city in the US, 7th cloudiest. But at least you get some speedies there. Used to be a fairly decent place, but like much of upstate NY the economy really dried up. Endicott Johnson Shoes and IBM were both big there. Really, the university is the best thing there now. Charleston WV, used to be so vibrant and bustling, was supposed to become Nick in the Mountains, is now a dead zone with a struggling infrastructure and an economy that can't keep itself afloat. Add on the homeless problem, which makes all of downtown look like a giant skid row. When I went to a delicious BBQ place in Charleston, I drove down a street where every other house had burned down or was in general disrepair. Sobering. Bakersfield, California is the worst. Please never go there. There is no reason to go there. It is followed closely by Dodge City, Kansas. OMG. You are exactly right. Those two places are the worst I have ever seen on my travels. Dodge stank, literally, and Bakersfield is just so depressing. Nice try, Russia. The worst cities are the most boring cities, the most devoid of personality. So I'm going to say Jacksonville, Florida. Jason Mendoza is now going to come throw a Molotov cocktail through your front window. Every big city has parts within them that are the worst. So any answer could be correct. Crime isn't as high as some people say, although there have been signs of it rising in some places. I'd say that you'd be fine in the right part of any city. There's reasons to have pride in every place in the United States regardless of their downsides because of all the history and people that live there, except Phoenix, which shouldn't exist because it is a monument to man's arrogance. For the uninitiated. https://m.yahoo.com/watch?4pyt0sdnrbe. I'm from Montana. What's a big city? Lol. I hated growing up by Orlando. For one, brick roads fucking suck. but also there's just too many damn tourists all the time. Entire city's one giant tourist trap. I loved living in Orlando, but I-4 is a nightmare and the worst road I've ever been on.